Dear poor people, the media lied about Biden. Poor people, everybody has been talking about the debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And if you were able to see the debate or hear any of the coverage after the debate, you will know that it was something to watch. It was absolutely something to watch. If that was must-see TV, it was absolutely must-see TV. However, a lot of the story is now about whether Joe Biden is fit to continue to be president, fit to continue to campaign for a next term in president. Should he be replaced? Should Kamala Harris replace him? What Dems would be available to take his spot? I mean, it is a whirlwind, apparently. I mean, the whole apple cart has turned over. The entire apple cart has turned over. However, I don't think that's the story. I mean, at least it is one of the stories, and it's likely to be a story for a while longer to the Democratic convention, or maybe for a few more days if they decide to settle in and stay with old Joe. However, I don't want to miss what I think is the real story. And as you know, I'm not somebody who's particularly obsessed with politics. I certainly know about politics. I'm an observer. I try to be aware of what's on the news, all of that stuff. So I try to keep current on things. However, what's interesting about politics to me is behavior. Now, as you know, I'm very into behavior. I'm very much looking at, I wrote a book on it, the impact that behavior has on people. Well, politics is really just a way to describe collective behavior. And so since I'm very interested in behavior in general, I'll look at our collective behavior, our civic behavior, which is our political behavior, is also of some interest. However, I think we have to go over, because I thought this was a very good montage by Ben Shapiro. Shout out to the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro for this montage on what I think is really the missing story here.
I just want to play this because this is important. This is just a few weeks ago. This is a montage of a variety of Democratic commentators praising Joe Biden's mental stability and fitness after a Wall Street Journal article came out 6 weeks ago talking about how Joe Biden clearly behind closed doors was losing it. And by the way, not just behind closed doors, like outside of closed doors, to pretty much everyone. And everyone in the media went nuts. Here is just a bit of a montage. It's a much longer montage of members of the media proclaiming that Joe Biden is healthy, well, fit, brainy, intellectual, witty, and with it. Here we go.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
She knows so long as she was 9.
In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been.
President Biden has a photographic memory. His understanding and mastery of a complicated geopolitical situation is remarkable.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
I was sitting, 2 feet from him across the table, and he was, intense.
Have trouble walking sometimes? Yeah, so did FDR. He wanted GD war.
But he's totally focused. He's very sharp.
They say he's sharp in meetings and so on.
Very lucid, very well informed.
Biden is stately, and he comes with gravitas.
There hasn't been, as far as I know, a single claim that Biden made a mistake.
Ageism is an issue.
And it goes on and on like this. Okay, we don't even have to play the whole thing because you could have done this on a consistent loop for 3 years. If we were all watching Joe Biden fall apart in real time, and all these people were telling you that you were crazy. And then last night, they got abjectly destroyed by their own lies. And now they are in a state of panic too, not just because they think Trump is going to win, and they're right about that. Not just because it's now obvious to everybody that Joe Biden is senile. That's true. But because their own credibility just exploded into tiny bits of shrapnel last night.
This is kind of what I want to talk about. They want to discuss, and people are discussing, why there is such a low approval of the mainstream media. And this is a clear indication, first of all, what we saw on debate night in terms of Joe Biden's performance. is not something that has happened recently. This is not something that's happened in the last week or so. All of a sudden, in the last week, Joe Biden has become a man who is in the grips and throes of, I don't know, dementia, senility. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what it is, but I do know this. I know that there is a problem with that cognition. There is an absolute problem with his cognition. And the problem could not have gone from, as these folks were telling us, that he was sharp and he was lucid and he's on every fact and he's aware of every detail. And oh, how just agile, mentally agile Joe Biden is. But all of a sudden in the last week or so, as a result of apparently a cold, it's just all gone. It's just all gone. Now, listen, I've had a cold. I know lots of other people who've had a cold, and people even in the throes of a cold are able to still maintain their level of cognition. What they had, before the onset of the cold does not go away while they're having a cold. So you can toss that out right away. That's spin. That's an absolute lie. But what I think is problematic here, and I think Ben has it absolutely right, and Ben is not the only one. I'm going to go even a little further because I heard Vivek Ramaswamy say this and more, in that what this has exposed is that this has exposed that there has been an absolute cover-up, and beyond a cover-up, a fraud perpetrated by the mainstream media on the public. These people knew he was not doing well. And the reason they knew is because I knew. And the reason I knew is because I had been watching clips of this man for the last 3 years. All right, I'll even go back further than that. I can remember when he was running in 2020, and he was at the West Side Delaware pool, where he starts telling a crazy story about his fight with the Jets. No, with Corn Pop. Remember that? Remember he had to go with a bicycle chain and face off against Corn Pop back in 2020. I thought he was losing it then. However, if you go back and watch him at the pool receiving an award during the campaign of 2020 in Delaware and his recitation of that story about Corn Pop, and then you look at him debate night, well, what you can see is there's been a precipitous decline since 2020 to now. That was 4 years ago. That there's been a precipitous decline. So there's no way these people can come out and act shocked. Ooh, they're verklempt. Ooh, they're clutching their pearls. Ooh, shattering, devastating. You're looking at disastrous. All of these headlines that are coming across the mainstream media on their television and in their publications. No. Y'all lied. That's just it. You lied. You knew, and what you did is you shuttered and shielded Joe Biden in his gaffes and his stumbles and his fall off the bikes and all of those shenanigans that he was doing, calling them cheap fakes and all of these other machinations to explain away what people could clearly see. And what you most importantly did is, for the most part, you didn't show it, because where people were able to see these gaffes were on the internet. But on the nightly news, on regular television, mainstream media broadcasts, they weren't showing it. So they hid Joe Biden's condition away from the voting public. And primary voters in the Democrat Party may have been able to select someone else, should they have wanted to, had they known the real facts on Joe Biden. So let me tell you what they did to you folks. You Democrat primary voters should be hopping mad. You should be absolutely furious at what the media with the complicit Democrat Party has done to you. What they did is they took all your options away. They pushed an image of Joe Biden in your face, which was not real. And what happened to people, which is going to, I really believe, be reflected in the polls going forward, is what happened to people is that they saw the real Joe Biden juxtaposed against the image of Joe Biden, this concocted, fake Manchurian candidate image of Joe Biden that the Democrat Party and their messengers in the media have put out, and the scam that was perpetrated on Democrat primary voters is shameful. And Democrat primary voters should punish the Democrat Party for what they did. You should let them know they cannot get away with that. You are not that slow. You are not that stupid. And they cannot get away with doing that to you. You need to punish them for what they've done to you. And you know what else? Punish the media as well. And you know how you do that? Turn off the channel. Stop watching these liars. Stop depending upon them to paint a picture of for you that is most likely, certainly in this case, false for you. Go out and find your own information. Empower yourself and stop letting these people perpetrate a fraud against you. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification button so you'll know the next time I drop a video. I want to thank you for visiting my channel, and I want to invite you back to visit my channel again. Can't wait to see you. Bye-bye.